Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is November the 9th, 2022. As you know, it's Wednesday evening at 6:30. As you know, I was elected to be the president of Local 1000 in May of 2021. And so we're going to talk about this evening. We'll have a theme this evening, and it's called Quiet Quitting. I'm sure you've heard of it. Quiet quitting, when you just basically do your job, but you don't go above and beyond. You just do the bare minimum to get by. So we're going to talk about that and how it relates to Local 1000. However, today is November 9th. And to everyone on Facebook, to everyone on Zoom, this Friday is Veterans Day, November the 11th. And so we want to give a shout out to all the veterans. And hopefully everyone will have a good 3-day weekend. And hopefully everyone yesterday was voting across America, the midterms. Hopefully everyone voted because your vote matters. Your vote matters in this country called America, the United States of America. And even though they're trying to remove my presidency, we're not going to allow that. So voting is the first step, but you have to also be an activist. You have to vote and you have to take action. You just can't say, well, I voted, and so it's out of my hands now. That's not how it works. You got to stay involved. But people have to listen to other people. And what is right, and what is wrong is wrong. And even though a lot of people have asked me to go to these illegal board meetings since they, quote, tried to suspend me, and I have not gone to these illegal board meetings because they're illegal. I suspended the three VPs first for their duties. But yet, the politics, their suspension of me was upheld. So, with that being said, quiet quitting. Hi to everyone on Facebook. Quiet quitting. Let's be honest with ourselves. Local 1000 has never served you. They've been quitting on you from the very beginning. In fact, they don't even try to make the bare minimum effort. They continue to tell you that they need you to be a dues-paying member and to not quit the union and to get involved. But yet, when it comes time for you to have your cases grieved to arbitration, they don't even do the bare minimum for that. They don't give you anything. And then they take your money and use it on political spending, on issues that sometimes you don't agree with. And they do this over and over and over again, and that's the history of this union. And so when I was elected president and I said no political spending, they said, well, we can't have Richard around. We have to remove him from office any which way but loose. And that's what they're trying to do right now. I've asked people to call me, 408-207-2339. I'm going to keep saying this because I have not quit on you. Many of you have quit on yourselves in relationship to this union. And it wasn't a quiet quit, it was a loud quit. I'm canceling my membership. And you go on Facebook and you say this. I'm asking everyone, and I've been saying this from the very beginning, you don't give up in this country. You know, when I became the president of Local 1000, for Local 1021, you know, I fought to make sure the staff got a substantial pay increase over 3 years. And that wasn't just the UAW 2350, but that was also for management at Local 1000. And so some people have said, why did you, quote, fight and ensure they got a substantial pay increase, 14% over 3 years, along with Juneteenth for being a paid additional holiday? Why did you do all that when many people have felt that Local 1000 has never fought for them to begin with? Because I am not going to let a few bad apples ruin the crop. That is why. There are some really good staff over at Local 1000. They know who they are. And then you have other staff that, quote, have been quiet quitting for years. And because of their behavior, their mindset, their approach to things, it has hurt our membership. And when I was calling out and asking for accountability for Local 1000 staff, they didn't like that. With that being said, we don't give up. I'm going to continue to ask you to talk to your coworkers. Many people have great ideas, but ideas don't mean anything if you don't take action. Ideas don't mean anything unless you take action to fulfill that idea. Listen to this. They've, quote, suspended me, and this union has continued on. And the membership has not stood up and said, put him back in office with his full powers. We elected him to get the job done, to work with the board of directors. But the bottom line is the board of directors does not represent Local 1000. 33 of those 51 DLC presidents represent themselves. They don't represent anybody else. And this is why I've asked people, email the Local 1000 board. It's up on my website, createexcellence7437.com. Email the entire board and say, we want to demand that.
Oh my goodness.
We want to demand that you restore the Local 1000 president with his full powers. And that the future of this president, we want to have that meeting out in the open. We don't want that board meeting closed. We have said that. I have said this over and over and over again. This has been critical. Critical. Now, I keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. Why? Because I'm consistent and I haven't given up. I haven't quit on you. I haven't quit on you either. And I'm asking you to keep the faith. As you know, Local 1000 has stopped doing Wednesday night calls. The last call was October 19th. They're not doing a call again until January the 23rd, 2022. You don't know what's going on with the union other than their propaganda emails. They tell you things that are not true. Alika Walls couldn't even do her call last night. Now, some people say, well, it was voting last night. You don't take breaks. If it's your night to do your call, then she asked to do that call on Tuesday night, you don't take breaks. You don't see me taking a break from you. If you invite me to your work site, I come to your work site. I've been saying this over and over and over again. You have to set that up and I will come to your work site. I'm going to say this to you at 6:39 this evening. If Local 1000 removes its duly elected president over these allegations that you know are false and erroneous, from that point on, you can expect this union to do anything they want to do to you because you will allow it to happen. You say, well, what can we do? There's a lot of things you can do. You say, well, I've called the MRC 866-471-7348. They recorded my call. Did you get the person's name? Do you have the time and date that you talked to them on more than one occasion asking to have the president restored? Did you do that part? Did you email your DLC president? It's at the Local 1000 website, SEIU1000.org. Did you email your president? Do you have a copy of that? Telling them, restore the Local 1000 president with the full powers. Let him do his job that he was elected to do. Have you done that? Have you contacted me, 408-207-2339? Have you done that? What else can you do? Some people say, hey, Richard, you should file a lawsuit. My question is, why don't you file a lawsuit? See, it's always easy to tell someone what to do, but my question is, what action have you taken on your own? That's the question I want to ask. There are things you can do. You say, well, Richard, what actions are you taking? Trust me, I'm taking action. Just because I don't tell you every single time I do something, I am taking action. You will know. If you want me to come to your work site, invite me to your work site. I've been saying this. I have been invited to people's work sites and I have gone on video. If your work site's telling you, no, I have to call that work site, that's not true. That is absolutely not true. Let me say it for you again. I have gone to work sites where I've been invited. I didn't have to call that work site to go to that work site. I was invited by people at that work site. If they're telling you that I must call them, they're telling you a lie. They're telling you a lie. And I have gone to DMV invited. I've gone to prisons invited. So that people can't say I just barged into a work site. No, I don't barge into people's work sites. I go where I'm invited. That way I don't get too arrogant. All right. And I say too arrogant because to be a leader, you must have a certain level of confidence that can be deemed as being arrogant. We see that all across the country. Again, tonight's about quiet quitting. Local 1000 is not even trying to do the bare minimum. Quiet quitting means you just do the bare minimum. You don't want to do your job to the best of your ability. You just do the bare minimum. But Local 1000 doesn't even do that. That's why you elected me. Because you knew I'd go above and beyond for you each and every time. And I was doing that. And this is why they said we have to get rid of Richard. Before I was even sworn in on June 27th, 2021. This fight is not over. Some people have already quit the union by canceling their membership for different reasons. Fair enough. But I'm asking you to not quiet quit. Just don't quit. You don't find success by quitting. It's to those who persevere, who push through, that doesn't stop fighting. Look at these elections from yesterday. Some of these elections, the ballots are still being counted. You know, some people would say, why don't people just quit when they, take a loss? Because quitters are not winners. Winners persevere. Either you want to be on the winning side and never quit, or you want to be on the losing side and just throw your hands up and say, I quit, I walk away. I haven't walked away from Local 1000. They're trying to run me out of here. And they're going to have to work hard to do that. I am not going to quit. Let me say it for you again on November 9th at 6:43. I am not going to quit on you. They told you I would quit on you. They told you a lie. They've been lying about me from the very beginning. I have not quit on you. I have stayed the course. I have maintained my integrity. If you want to help me create a new culture of excellence for Local 1000 and inspire the impossible and beat the odds, 408-207-2339. I haven't changed my storyline. I've been consistent. I've been reliable. All right. So I've said all that in 14 minutes. I'm going to take some questions tonight. Well, so here's the first question. I want to know what is going on with the hearings. Tired of ranting. I want to hear facts. Is there any attorney helping you? Okay, Julie Hartman, you want to hear facts. The HR 1 hearing against me is over. That's a fact. That HR 1 hearing. Is there any attorney helping you? No, there's no attorney helping me, Julie Hartman. That's a fact. You say, we want to see the transcripts from everything you said at those hearings. Trust me, you will get them, Julie Hartman. That's a fact. I will have to, I did a closing for Michael Gus because he did an HR 1 against me. That's a fact, Julie Hartman. And I will show it to you, Julie Hartman. Trust me. I have to do a closing for Annika Walls for all her allegations. I will show it to you, Julie Hartman. That's a fact. Are there any more facts you want to hear, Julie Hartman? Because I want to know, is it a fact? Do you go on Annika Walls' calls and ask for facts about the HR 1 hearings? Does Annika give you any facts on that? I would like to know that answer. So if you can type that in the comments, I would like to know that. See, everyone wants to hear about the facts. They want to hear about your ranting. Let me tell you something. I don't rant. I give you the facts. But people don't like the facts that I give them. Those are the facts. It's not ranting. Those are facts. A lot of times people will say something's a rant when it's something they don't want to hear.
That's right.
So let me give you the facts, Julie Hartman. Fact is, they created a legal position. That's a fact, Julie Hartman. That's called the chair position. DLC 744 President William Hall, who ran unopposed, who got not one single vote, is now trying to run the union. You know very well they don't let people talk. Oh, now, Julie Hartman, she's right. They don't let people talk on Annika's calls or on, quote, DLC 744 President Billy Hall or William Hall's calls. That is a fact. She is absolutely right. But I'll let people, whether they support me or whether they don't support me, come on here and get at me on Wednesday night. And when I give them the facts back, they get an attitude. Here's another fact. I was told to suck a dick and eat a dick. But nobody on that board had the integrity or the moral courage to address Teresa Taylor and her daughter and write an HR 1 on them. That is a fact, since we're talking about facts. You know, I have to smile. I'm going to go to the hands raised here in a second. But I have to smile because sometimes I come and I do these videos and I say, well, I'm just going to do a little talk and then I'm going to get off. But sometimes people wake me up. And when you wake me up, you wake me up. And then you inspire me. And now I'm fired up now. See, that's all I need to hear. Because when you say, give you the facts, Julie Hartman, you know, during the HR1 process, that arbitrator kept saying, give him the facts. That black man, Homer LaRue, kept saying, just give me the facts. Well, here's a fact. Sometimes the facts don't give you the whole story. Sometimes you need the background of the story. Did you write an HR1 on them? You know I wrote an HR1 on them, Julie Hartman. That's a fact. That's up on my website, createexcellence7437.com. I wrote an HR1 when I, quote, suspended the 3 VPs for their duties. That's a fact, Julie Hartman. But if you wanted to know that fact, you would have gone to my website and you could have downloaded that whole entire PDF and I give you all the information, all the facts. Again, Julie Hartman, I'm glad that you woke me up this evening. Because when you said give you the facts, and when I was giving you the facts, when I was over at the building, Local 1000 headquarters, about the credit card charges, those were facts. But Julie Hartman, I didn't see you write an HR1 on Against No One. In fact, Julie Hartman, I didn't see you write an HR1 when they told me to suck a dick and eat a dick. I didn't see you write an HR1 when, quote, DLC 704 President William Hall called me a nigger. I didn't see you write no HR1 on that, Julie Hartman. That's a fact. That's a fact. All right. Today is November 9th, 2022. I'm going to go to the first hand raise, Derek Roque. And let me say this again. This Friday is Veterans Day. To all those who serve the country, we say we salute you. Thank you for putting your life on the line. We deeply appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, go ahead, Derek.
Good evening, President Brown. How are you this evening?
I'm doing just fine.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for once again taking my call right here November 9th on the only call that matters. It feels good to be back, and I want to give a shout out to Local 1000 and to all the veterans out there. Thank you for serving. I want to start off by saying a little bit what Julie was just talking about here.
Okay.
You know, I did take some action, and that's a fact. And let me explain, Julie, if you're listening on Facebook, what happened. I got fed up. After numerous HR1s that I filed with my privilege as a dues-paying member on incidences that I saw that were unethical or, for lack of better words, going against our Constitution and our bylaws, I filed an HR1. I took the appropriate action. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. No responses. And that, once again, goes against our policy file, yep? So, with that being said, when you don't get a response, what do you do next? So, I took a page out of an old playbook, and there's a quote, and I'm not going to say that person's name, but those who know will know what I'm talking about. I thought, well, what can I do? And I was like, you know what? Those who are not accountable to the people will be held accountable by the people. So I was taking a step further. You got all these board members. I wrote the whole entire board. The whole entire board, my frustrations and basically my grievance for not hearing out my HR1. No response. There was, however, one individual who did respond and took time out of his day to respond back out of the 60-plus board members. And Mr. Tommy Cornelius, I want to say thank you for your response. I'm not going to share what was detailed, But Tommy, I want to invite you on this call. If you would like to come onto this call and hear all these members' frustrations with that damn board, please come on this call. This is the only call that matters, Tommy, and I guarantee you, you will not be let down, and you will be welcomed with love and fellowship. Thank you, Mr. President, and have a good night.
All right, thank you for calling in, Derek. Derek did take action. I got that email he sent to the board. One quick thing. Tommy Cornelius is a DLC President 782. Anybody can come on my calls. Anybody. Whether you're part of Book of 1000 or not. I take everyone's call. Second, Tommy Cornelius is one of the people who have asked me to go to these illegal board meetings. And I said I'm not going. Third thing. Casey Gosar. Thank you for calling the MRC. I see the comment. Thank you so much for doing that. Fourth thing, and then I'll go to Roxy Walker here. Julie Hartman says, I was not there when they said all those things to you and stuff.
You don't have to be.
Say it again.
You don't have to be.
All right, so someone just said, I don't know who it was. Someone just said, Yolanda Williams. She just said, you don't have to be. She beat me to it. So Julie Hartman, Yolanda Williams is right. You don't have to be there. So here's the question you should ask yourself. How many times has this union lied to you and not told you the truth? And how many times have I told you the truth and lied to you about this union? I rest my case. I've never lied to you about Local 1000. When Local 1000 all these years has told you, Julie Hartman, and many others that your money is not used on politics, they told you a 1,000% bona fide, beautiful, and ugly lie. Something can be beautiful and ugly at the same time. Wow. You say, well, how can it be beautiful and ugly, Richard? Because remember, tonight's about quiet quitting. When you think of quiet, you think, oh, wow, that's a nice word, quiet, professional, reserved. But you're quitting at the same time. So quiet was the beautiful, and the quitting was the ugly. Woo! I like that. I like that. Beautiful and ugly at the same time. That's quiet quitting. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's go to Roxy Walker. Go ahead, Roxy.
Hello, President Brown. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay. How are you today?
I'm in a rant. I'm going to rant.
Okay.
Okay, so you saw my text that I sent you.
I sure did.
So that is what was sent to me. I took it last and found it out there. I didn't know. I had never heard that before, but I didn't know. Why would you have to call labor relations? I didn't understand that. Unfortunately, the team don't answer crap. You can email whatever. I like calling because I like to hear it. So I too have been threatened with the HR1 because of my stewardship and because of my, I guess we'll say, lack of attitude. Well, I don't know, maybe too much attitude. Let's put it that way. So this is my problem. When you say quiet and quitting, is that what you said? Quiet and quitting?
Quiet quitting, yes.
We're tired. We're tired.
Okay.
And I'm speaking for me and my office. And this is the way we feel. And I'm going to put it out there. You need to feel what we mean. It's to walk away. Now, I know you said stay, and that's why a lot of us are staying. But understand the frustration that this is just Yvonne Walker all over again. The only difference in this one is there's a group of roaches rather than just one. Yes, I said that.
So,
when they don't respond.
all right. You know what, Roxy? And I'm glad you brought this up. So I'm going to try to lay this out in a couple quick steps. Because we have people watching on Facebook listening to you and they're feeling inspired by what you're saying. And there's people from other unions who are battling the same thing you're battling. First thing is this. You have to find someone you trust that's going to tell you the truth, the good and the bad. You're talking to that person right now, Richard Lewis Brown, the duly elected president. That's the first thing. Second thing, I'm sorry that you're being threatened with HR 1s. A lot of stewards who, quote, talk to me and support me are being threatened with HR 1s. I'm sorry for that. Here's the third thing. Any knowledge that you want to know about this union, I will tell you in the email. You can go to my website, createexcellence7437.com. All your answers is basically on my website. I'll put more information up. It's a lot of information, but it lays out everything for you. The fourth thing, I've asked people to contact me so they can help me do things. If your work site won't allow you to set up a visit for me to come down there, then during that lunch hour that you have with DMV, just do a Zoom, and I can do a Zoom, and I can talk to everyone in your DMV through Zoom. You're always free to come to this evening as well. So when I send out my thing, you can always forward my link to my Zoom to your coworkers, and they can come and ask questions. I've never run from anybody. Now, someone else, okay, so Julie Hartman is now echoing what you just said. This is why I'm talking on Zoom and I'm watching Facebook and I'm taking notes at the same time. She says, I have emailed the union more than once. I get no answers. I can't ask questions from the board. I can't answer questions from the board. Hold on one second, Roxy. I ask questions here, you jump on me like I'm in the wrong for asking questions. I'm not a long-term state employee. I'm not familiar with all this stuff. All I know is I get paid, I get crap for asking questions. Okay, so Julie Hartman, and back to Roxy here. Stay with me, Roxy.
Yeah.
I wasn't jumping on you, Julie Hartman. But see, I have a way of talking to people and getting them to tell me the truth on where they're coming from. Now that it appears that you're asking with sincerity, because I answered all my questions with sincerity, with enthusiasm, that can be perceived as being arrogant or, quote, angry, because I'm a black man in this country, Julie Hartman. If you can't get answers from your union, then you should be writing an HR 1 on your DLC president. That's what you should do, Julie Hartman. If you don't know who your DLC president is, text me, 408-207-2339. I'll help you find your DLC president. Roxy, if you set up a Zoom, we'll do a Zoom for DMV in Lancaster. If the management doesn't want me to come down there. Because you as a steward can invite Local 1000 to come down there. I've gone to other DMVs and done worksite meetings, and I do it on video so everybody knows what I'm saying. So if they're giving you a hard time down there, and I believe you that they are, we can still get around that. But I want to get to something you said, Roxy. You said, we are tired. We are frustrated. I believe you 1,000%. And that's the whole goal of Local 1000, to get you frustrated, to get you tired, to where you don't want to pay money, and now they can continue to elect the same old status quo leadership, and then they tell you, because membership's not high enough, we can't get a good contract. And then when you pay your money, they still won't listen to you. Because it's a hustle. Because when we beat the hustle. So I want you to understand this. You say, we're tired. Yeah, I'm tired of spending money on this union too. I spent over $50,000 on this union since 2012. I've run in 3 different elections. So you and I share the same feeling. We're both tired of this nonsense. But as you know from last night, people are tired from the left and from the right and also in the middle of the things that's going on in this country. That doesn't mean they say, well, we just give up on our voting. People continue to vote. There are people working at those voters' polls right now, counting those ballots because they still believe that regardless of how tired they may be, this is something that's so important to the success of this country, and in this case, our union. So yes, we get tired. But we don't quiet quit. We don't loudly quit. We keep fighting. And let me say this to you, Roxy. When those black folks in the 60s got tired of being harassed down south, trust me, racism wanted them to quit. To accept things the way it's always been. Because it's always been like this in this country for certain people that came over as enslaved property. And they wanted those people to quit and give up. Well, those black folks down south didn't give up. Thank God. They didn't give up. In regards to how tired those women who woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, who had to walk to work when they were having that boycott down there, a strike, and they wouldn't get back home to 8, 9 o'clock at night. Thank God those people of color did not get so tired, they just gave up. So I'm asking you with respect and love, Roxy, stay with me. We can't give up. And when women in this country were told they were not able to vote, they kept fighting until they got the right to vote. Those ladies did not give up. We don't give up. We may get mad as heck and get frustrated, but we're not giving up. We're not giving up. Okay, go ahead. Okay. You said 21 years?
21 years, yes.
Okay.
Now, as a steward before.
Okay.
Now, me being a steward, I didn't like what I saw. I was sent to a Senate, Democrat, whatever it was, up in Fresno. I saw a lot of crap. And no one could tell me that what I saw wasn't there. So I resigned as a steward because it was crap. So me and Yvonne and me and Mr. Burnett, they'll tell you, they know my name. I've had it out with quite a few of them. And that's why when this thing came up not recently, but about the HR 1, I told her to go ahead. Do what you have to do. I am over this union. DMV has always been at the bottom of the barrel. We are still at the bottom of the barrel. It started out DMV this, DMV that. And all of a sudden, we're not even thought about anymore. So the reason why I want to get you out there, like the union now wants to come to DMV on the 17th. So they told me the same thing about them, and I told him, I said, well, I've never been told that before. Oh, well, they have to go through labor relations. Why? So now that you kind of confirmed it for me, well, I don't mind fighting, but I need the knowledge to do that. So I'm just to the point where the
Roxy. So Roxy, are you still there? Because we can't hear you. Are you still there, Roxy?
But it's kind of like
No, wait, hold on, Roxy. When you said the union was coming to your work site on the 17th of November, and then it got cut off. What did you say after that?
Oh, they wanted to come out on the 17th for a work site visit.
Of November or October?
November.
Okay.
So the same person who gave me that little note said the same thing about them. So in our minds, and I'm not gonna lie to you, my whole office is like, why are they coming around? We haven't seen them in 3 years. So yeah, I'm intrigued.
So listen to this, Roxy. On the 17th, is Local 1000 coming to your work site?
She hasn't got back to me because of she needs to call labor.
So check this out. On November 17th, You know what, you just watch out for November 17th, because I'm going to show you something about these work sites. And I don't like to say on video, forgive me. I have gone to DMV work sites. Now, did they go through their labor relations person? I don't think so. I think they went through their boss, their top boss on that work site. But every work agency, every work site is a little different. Some you just go to your top boss, they run the show. Other people say just go to my labor relations because I don't want anything to do with it. And then they'll say, okay, go on and set it up. What time's the person coming, blah, blah, blah. The bottom line is this. This union has been quiet quitting on you for years, and you know this. You have more time in this game than I do. So there's not much I can tell you on that. You know it. What I'm simply asking is, when I ask people to help me do things, I say, reach out to me, 408-207-2339. I know who's reached out to me. That everyone does things in a different form or fashion at their pace. The question is, sometimes you can't pace yourself. Sometimes you're going to have to put in some time. And you're going to do some things that is going to put you on the spot. Right now, they're trying to run me out of this union. And so the showtime is coming. The war is here, but now the big battle is going to be upon us. And I need your support, and I need the support of Lancaster DMV. He said, well, it's just one work site. It starts with one person, and then it goes to the next person. And that person brings in more people. It starts at the grassroots level. Local 1000 wants to come to your work site because they want to prevent me from maintaining my support from all over these work sites. Because remember, I was going to these work sites. Local 1000 was never going to work sites unless they wanted something from you. I never wanted anything from you. The only thing I want to do for you is get you that 21% pay increase across the board. I never forgot about DMV. And I know that they're trying to take jobs away from DMV. And that's why I said that next contract, all jobs must be guaranteed for the length of that contract. Or don't sign that contract.
Someone in the chat was asking me if I was talking about Ted Burnett. Yes, I am.
So, everyone on Facebook, Ted Barnett was a long-time Local 1000 staff. He was in management at Local 1000. Some people loved Ted. Some people did not like Ted. Roxy, you know Ted Barnett. I'm not going to tell you anything because you already know the truth. Okay. 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 Yeah. And I met Ted. Look, everybody. I met Ted Barnett years ago. He's from Chicago. I'm from St. Louis. He has a photographic memory. Some people love him. Some people hate him. Here's what I do know. Did Ted Barnett keep you from losing money in your paycheck? No, he did not. Did Ted Barnett stand up for you to ensure that you weren't being harassed in the workplace? Okay, that's it. That's all I got to say. I don't have anything. And so when people try to portray me as being this quote angry black man and that I'm mad at white people, I've gone at everybody. Black, white, Latino, Asian. I've gone at everybody equally. Maybe some of my people, Roxy, I've gone at just a tad harder. Because I know that you and I are probably from a shared community. So you know what I'm saying and I know what you're saying. Okay. But sometimes it's those within our own communities that try to tear us down. And I was accused of trying to tear down the former president because she was African American. I said, yes, because she's not doing what is right. So she doesn't get a pass from me. Would I give a pass to a person outside the community if they were doing something that was wrong? Absolutely not. So why would I give somebody within my own community a pass? She ain't getting one. Okay? So when these people come at me and they do all this talk, I always tell people, bring your friends. In this case, Local 1000 brought the lawyers. Fair enough. Fair enough. So I'm still here, Roxy. And you're in that DMV. Hey, let me ask you something, Roxy. That DMV in Lancaster, what's that address? So it's the 721 West Avenue, L6. That DMV office.
Yes, sir.
It's a field office, right?
Yes, it is.
And what hours do y'all normally work?
8 to 5.
And what time's the lunch hour for that entire staff for rank and file?
11, 12, and 1.
Huh. I've heard that before about DMV. They have 3 different lunch hours. Is it 1 hour or half an hour?
1 hour.
And that break room, is it in the back of the building?
Yes, sir.
And so you don't know if they're coming down on the 17th or not, correct?
No, but I will find out and I will definitely let you know.
You know, when they tell you if they're coming down on the 17th, tell them that, yeah, Richard's going to come too. And we can all talk together and see what they tell you.
Oh, that should be fun.
And see what they say.
Okay.
You know, because people do call me, and as long as I have their permission, when I go to those work sites, I put up on video. Some people say, well, oh no, we don't want it to be on video because we're afraid of retaliation. So there have been times where I've gone and talked to people and no one knows about it because I couldn't video record it. So it's my word against their word, so I don't say much about it. But I like to have it on video. And I went to a DMV work site and I have it on video. Because that way you can hold me accountable. Because when Local 1000 is going to these work sites, they're telling you, they're promising you the moon and the stars, but there's no video of it. And then they'll turn around 2 days later and say, I didn't say that. And be lying through their teeth. And you know it and I know it. At least with me, whether I'm having a good day or a bad day, it's all on video. It's all on video. Okay. All right. So, but I wanted to write down what Roxy was saying. Okay. I want to go to Darren. So go ahead, Darren.
Good evening, President Brown, and good evening, my fellow coworkers and members of Local 1000. I wanted to actually get some information also from Roxy. She said something that was kind of key, that kind of piqued up my ears a little bit. And I know that she's been around for a long time and has been, fighting a good fight. When somebody threat in HR 1, she might be trying to respond. Quality's kind of, the connection wasn't too great.
Okay.
Okay. And she can chime back in whenever she gets a chance to, after I kind of ask my question. Isn't threatening in HR 1 a form of intimidation and actually against the policy file? It's either you're going to file one or you're not going to file one. But by threatening, you're attempting to silence one of your fellow union members, if I'm not mistaken.
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I see somebody put up for bullying, but I don't think SEIU has adopted any type of a bullying platform, even though they forced the state to. So, and that's just within. So, I mean, that might need a little bit of work to be dug around on that, Roxy, to kind of help facilitate that. And, you can chat with me offline on that too.
Okay.
In regards to that, to cover a little bit of ground with Derek. I mean, I've filed at least, I think, 9 HR 1s lately, and I've only gotten a response back from the local on 1.
Wow.
So that just goes to show the pecking order as far as what they deem necessary and what they deem needs to be addressed. And I believe on that I'm going to have to do a little bit more research, but even on them not addressing the HR 1s in a prompt fashion or prompt timing is another violation of the policy file and deserving of another HR 1, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, it's it's embarrassing to see that the lack of competency by the folks within the local, not as a whole, but there's certain people that within the MRC that I'll be honest with you. I mean, everybody, they have their jobs to work on, and we know that there's a few people there internally that are steering the boat, not just from Mr. Hall, but other folks on staff that are putting pressure on folks internally at the MRC to not be compliant with pushing our complaints forward or getting everything, returning phone calls. And, I hope that those folks themselves would complain to the union about the working conditions that they're under and that they're not allowed to do their job as per their contracts with the local. So one of the things that I did bring up a couple days ago, and I just want to kind of let everybody know, when it comes to making these phone calls for assistance, whether you're calling managers, keep a record. Keep a record of what you're doing and how you're doing it. Write down dates and times. Establish a pattern that really helps for anything down the road. And I know there was a few questions in regards to information and things like that. Unfortunately, I know on some of these circumstances, a lot of things can't be discussed as of yet because of whatever's going on. And I did miss something earlier, President Brown, as far as one process being in the open and requesting it to be in the open. So I didn't know if it was anything to do with any of the next upcoming HR1s, as far as if we could play a role in requesting that those be out in the open for folks to hear and see, because there's a lot of things that are happening in these HR1s that, when they're put under the correct light, you can see how things are being directed, not necessarily how things should be done. And sometimes you can almost see the collusion in the background just by listening to how questions are asked or what types of questions are asked during the HR1 process. So I just wanted to kind of close out on that. Again, if you can cover some ground on trying to get things to be more transparent, or at least for us to push for certain things to be more transparent, so we can get the right light shed on these things. And there's a lot of people asking questions at my field or at headquarters, and President Brown, I don't know if we've had any luck trying to get you out to DMV headquarters, but we got a courtyard out there and outside the main headquarters building, and we've got lunches from between 11 o'clock and 1.
So
And I think it would be a great opportunity to maybe even just being out there on Facebook with a few employees and getting other people to show up and ask questions during their lunch.
So let me say this to you, Darren. I live down the street from headquarters DMV. So when people say, hey, come to my work site, I'll set it up, I'm there. That's automatic. Anybody who's invited to their work site and they set it all up, I've been there. I've never told anyone no. That's the first thing. Second thing is this. You're right about record keeping. And I hope that every time people make calls to Local 1000, you better be recording that call, the time and the date and the person you spoke to and what you said. You should be emailing, because that's written documentation. That's easy to verify. So when these people say, hey, we had to vote to kick Richard out of the union, that's an absolute lie. When you're getting calls saying, don't kick the duly elected president out of this union, that's an absolute lie. So that record keeping is really critical. Here's the third thing. People say, well, what else can we do? Have people contacted me? If you and your coworkers, you have 5, 10, 15, I don't know, 50 to 100 coworkers that say, we want Richard restored, what do we have to do? then send me an email with their names. And then CC them. Or just CC them an email saying, me and these people here are willing to back you and do whatever it takes to get you restored. That's strong action. Because now we can move faster. Listen to how I said this. If you and 10, 15, 50, or 100 co-workers are saying, what do we have to do legally to get Richard back in office? Then send the email and CC those names in the email. Say, me and these individuals in this email feel this way about you, and we want to know what we can do to help you be restored back to your position as quickly as possible. Using any manner, including legal manners as well, or legal maneuvers as well. That simple, that quick. So when people say I'm not doing anything, I've always said, if people follow my lead, we'll get there. I know what I'm talking about. Oh, one quick thing, Jeremy, before you get off. So Julie Hartman on Facebook was asking me about the HR1 process that's been aimed against me. And I said that process is over. And those transcripts of everything that I've said and everything that people have said, oh, they'll be up. It's going to come out, those transcripts, once this is all over. And I'm right, I have to do my closing argument for Annika. I already did my closing argument for Michael Gus. All that's going to come out. All this is going to come out. Because I'm the transparent one. I'm not doing anything in a sneaky fashion or whatever. So everything I said, I stand behind. And I never want those meetings closed to begin with, so that people didn't have to ask me questions. They could watch themselves. It should have all been up on video for review and reproof.
I got a question on that.
Yes.
Is there a process that once those HR1 documents or the transcripts are released, if the transcripts are not necessarily valid and indicative of the proceedings, is there a process for that?
Nope. Nope. This is all politics. So as you stated, you've done numerous HR1s. They handpick what they want to respond to. But see, the same thing they were saying about me, they're doing themselves. Is that hypocrisy or is that racism? See, this is what people don't like about me. They say, stop making it about race. I don't give a hoot if I'm in the state of California. There are certain things they do in this state that are racist. And they're trying to remove me from this position of leadership that I was elected to do by membership is a racist move based on the fact they're trying to, quote, keep the status quo, keep the political spending. I don't care if they do think they're, quote, white and liberal. They're hypocrites and they're racists. And I'm not backing off that, and I'm not trying to make someone feel so comfortable. A union, a labor union, makes management uneasy. Because we're not going to let you violate us, destroy our dignity, talk to us any kind of way that you want, take our money anytime that you want. A union does not do that. A union fights against that. When you have a union that allows your money to be deducted at any time the state wants to and take your money while under a signed contract because they say we're in a financial crisis, then you don't have a union. And this is why, sometimes I come across a little fired up. Because as Roxy said, frustration. People get tired. People want to, quote, quiet quit, the theme of tonight's video. Have I quit on Local 1000? I have not. They're trying to run me out of here over some bogus BS, and I still have not quit. And this is why sometimes I, quote, cop an attitude with those who do quit. Why? I haven't quit on you. When they were trying to make you all get vaccinated, did I quit on you? Did I succumb to peer pressure? So it's okay if I can make it out to ghetto and say no to drugs. And then white folks say, oh, you said no to drugs, but your other black folks couldn't say it. But when I don't succumb to peer pressure on the COVID vaccination, then there's something wrong with me. When I don't succumb to peer pressure that our job should be guaranteed for the length of that contract, there's something wrong with me. When I don't succumb to peer pressure that How I campaign is one thing, but now I'm in office, I should do something different. That's what a politician does. And that's what you have these so-called wannabe politicians leading the union. And that's why you can't get anything done. And so sometimes, we can put together, our perfect speeches. We can put together the perfect emails. The bottom line is this. It takes a special type of person to run for office and to win. People know when you're telling them the truth. People know when you're telling them a lie, oftentimes. But what are they conditioned to accept? And here's the thing. I've never conditioned you, Darren, or anyone else in this union to accept nothing but the best from me. Can my emails be written a bit better? Sure. I'm not the best writer. I never told you I was, Darren. You are, by the way. Am I always the easiest person to get along with? I'm the coolest cat you'll ever meet. But don't walk up on me thinking you're going to say anything you want to say to me and not catch it back from me. I'm not looking for a fight, but I'm not running from one either. So, with that being said, I'm asking you and I'm asking everyone, if you get coworkers, send me an email and say, hey, we're ready to take action right now, then you should do that. Now, some people say, the HR1's not good enough, we should file lawsuits. Don't tell me about filing no lawsuit unless you've already filed one. Once you filed your lawsuit and you send it to me, then I'll say, you know what? Maybe I should follow your lead. Some people feel that there's other ways. Now, I'm going to court with this Bill Hall situation. That's not over with. Them trying to, quote, remove me from the board. I can't wait to go to court. Let's go. Stop dragging this out. Let's go to court. But they're playing games while they're spending our money on politics and everything else they want to spend money on. They're not giving you no accountability. And so that's why sometimes when people like Julie Hartman come on Facebook, and she didn't mean any harm or anything, but my question is, everybody wants to do all this talk about don't do all that ranting and raving. But when I was ranting and raving trying to protect you from being vaccinated, that was fine. When I'm ranting and raving about getting that 21% pay increase across the board, that's fine. But now they're trying to remove me from the union. Now you can say, hey, just stick to the facts. Don't pick what you want to believe in and what you don't want to believe in. I have been consistent. I have been reliable. I have told you the truth. And so they've gone back into my past and trying to bring up my past and try to discredit me. I didn't know there was perfect people born on earth. I didn't know. So hold on one second. So can those who voted for you file a class action group lawsuit? So Julie Hartman, I'm writing this down. And you said it at 7:30 tonight. Can those who voted for you file a class action group lawsuit? My question is, can you afford to? Yes, you can file a class action group lawsuit. It's going to cost you some money. I can't even find an attorney. Local 1000 knows that. See, all of this about this attorney stuff, it's all going to come out. Because I got a lot to say about that. You can certainly file a class action lawsuit. Do you have the money, or does a group of people have the money they can pull together? Because remember, I was asking people to pull money together so I could go out and find an attorney. And then when I found an attorney, he left me alone because I couldn't afford to keep paying him. Can you file a class action group lawsuit? Julie Hartman, that's a great question. And the answer is yes. So then, Julie, you'll probably come back and say, well, why don't you file a lawsuit? That's your next question, Julie? Let's see if she texts that in here. See, I wait on people. People think that I like to just throw punches. No, I don't like to throw punches. I'm a counter puncher. I want you to walk into this. So let's see if Julie says, if she asks me that she will be file a lawsuit. Because I can't even file an attorney. So, I guess she's not going to ask me that question. So, they filed a lawsuit against me. So I guess, people say, why don't you, no, that was not my next question. Okay. So what's your next question, Julie? because she's the only person on Facebook that's asking questions, that's commenting, saying stuff right now. And I can't keep up with the chat on Zoom, y'all, so bear with me here. So here's what I'll try to do. Let me try to come over to the chat, see if I can keep up with the chat and keep up with the Zoom at the same time while talking. Hold on one second here. Okay. All right. So I don't know what Julie Hartman's next question is, but I answered her question. She asked about facts. I gave her some facts. See, I want Julie Hartman to hear this. When they got on me about that credit card, about what was I doing with my credit card, and they tried to say I was at the Baseball for Black Men having fun. Oh, your money. Come to find out, they were the ones acting up, not me. So every time I get called out, when I call back even stronger. So it says, I'm just trying to throw things out that might be. Okay, fair enough, Julie. So, all right. And so, Julie, I hope that someone else hears you say that. I had said this a long time ago. We have some people who are really smart in the union, but being smart doesn't mean you're going to win. I'm going to tell you that. You have to have people around you, and you have to have a leader. You may have multiple leaders, but you have to have one central leader that says, okay, this is what we have to do. If you always are creating these little committees that Local 1000 is doing right now, we got a committee for this, we got a committee for that, you won't get anything done. Did they create a little committee when they had International come down and help them run the union? Did they do that? See, all that little committee stuff, that's from MTC. Because they want to make it feel like high school. We're all part of this. No, you always, in every organization, you have the person, that alpha, male or female, that's the central leader of that organization. But you do have checks and balances. Local 1000, they don't know who's leading them. You don't know if it's Billy, you don't know if it's William Hall, Annika, David, Irene. You don't know anything. They'll tell you anything at any given time. They go back to that office and try to kill each other. They come out and be singing Kumbaya. They have nothing for you. You say, well, Richard, sometimes you get a lot out of pocket. Really? Do I? And I'm the one that's fighting for your money. Are these people fighting for your money? They're not doing a damn thing for you, and they never will. You say, well, Richard, you're being kind of judgmental when you say that. I'm the same person I was in 2012 that I am today. When I was doing the videos from Local 1000 headquarters, I said the same thing. I had the PowerPoints and all that up. I'm saying the same thing. I have not changed up on you. And they're trying to eliminate me. But the quiet quitting is you just allowing it to happen. You're going to allow these people to silence your voice? Listen, Julie said about the people who voted for me. I didn't know Julie voted for me. Well, what about the people who didn't vote for me? There are people on this call, on Zoom and on Facebook, who did not vote for me. And they ran into me and they said, wow, we didn't know who you was, or we heard stuff about you, but we kind of like you now. I said kind of like me. Some people really like me, some people don't. Oh, I see Richard Wick has come on. Give me a second, Derek. I see Richard Wick is now on Facebook. Hi, Richard. Would you like to come on video, Richard? Because he's one of the people who want to do all that talking on Facebook and call me a liar and all this and that. You know, he calls me a chicken and a coward. But I guess that's not bullying, because when a white man calls me that, I should accept it and know my place. So come on, Richard. Mail in your instructions of righteousness. Mail in your desire to lead us. Come on, Richard. Since you said I wouldn't talk to you months ago, whatever. And then when you did come on my call when I was doing it from Local 1000, I ate you up. You didn't have nothing to say afterwards. You were stuttering. So go ahead, Richard. I see you're watching. But he's not going to say anything. He won't come on video. See, this is the type of leadership you have in Local 1000 right now. They do all this secretive backroom hustling. But they don't care about you. Richard Wake has never cared about you, and he never will. Now, I hear that Richard's running for... Hey, Richard, are you still running for the mayor of Sacramento next year or something like that? Is that true, Richard? Or was I giving wrong information? So Richard doesn't want to respond. All right, so I see Luke Cerna. Hey, Richard, do you know if the board has scheduled a meeting to try and remove you from office? Yes, they're going to do it once this HR1 process is complete and the arbitrator sends his recommendation to the board, it doesn't matter what the arbitrator says, former DLC 701 President Luke Cerna. The board's going to do what the heck they want to do. Read that in the policy file. It tells you they can accept, they can modify, they can do what they want to do when it comes to the HR1 charge. Remember, I suspended the duties of the VPs first. They should be on, quote, the hearing trial, not me. Luke Cerna? So I hate to put you out on blast like this, but I have to. Because Luke, you were a former DLC president and you quit. You quietly quit. You fit right into what I'm talking about tonight. And I begged you, I said, don't quit. And when you had said those things that came across as being racial, I still said, well, hold on, Luke, tell me what was really going through your mind. And you took time to explain to me. And then you took time to explain to me some other stuff. And I said, okay, Luke, I understand. And I still had your back. But you quit Local 1000 by giving up your presidency when I begged you not to, Luke Cerna. They are going to have a special board meeting to kick me out of here. Now, the next scheduled board meeting is December 3rd and 4th. Will they do it then? I don't know if the HR1 process will be completely wrapped up by then. I don't know. Because if I did know, I would tell you and I would tell everyone. I don't hold secrets. Luke Cerna. And I've never revealed nothing you've told me in secrecy. So the question is, have you contacted your co-workers? Are you a group of people who want to, quote, take action against Local 1000 for what they're trying to do to me? Are you part of that? Have you done that? Have you sent me an email of all these people and said, these people and I, we're ready to take legal action? Have you done that, Mr. Cerna? Have you? I didn't think so. See, tonight, I guess, I told you I was kind of asleep tonight. I had a lot of things I had to do for the last few days. But when you wake me up, okay. So Richard Wake says I'm not an officer anymore, so I could care less. So Richard Wake did all that talking when he was a DLC 767 president, and now he says, I'm not an officer anymore, I could care less. Well, Richard, I thought you were still the vice president chief steward. So somebody go to Local 1000, SIU1000.org, go to the website right now and look up DLC 767, because I opened up the website when I was over there so everybody could go to it. And tell me if you don't see Richard Wake on there. I want to know if his name is on there as the vice president. Maybe I'm wrong. So someone go and reach out, and I want to know right now. Go to the SEIU Local.
It's right there.
So, okay, Richard Wake. So someone is now calling you. So Richard Wake, you've been caught in another lie. No, put it back on your phone. Let me see that phone again. Put it back on the screen. It says here on the Local 1000 website, Vice President Chief Steward Richard Wake. So you're still an officer, Richard Wake. You've been caught in a lie again. You've been caught in a lie again. So when you say I could care less, you could care less that you're being caught in your lies, or you could care less because you were never who you claimed to be from the very beginning. So Richard Wake, are you still going to run for the mayor of Sacramento? Or could you care less about that too? Because your leadership now as a job steward and the vice president chief steward of 769 or 767 is telling us how you're going to do in your future job. I turned in my resignation to Ben Arega 3 weeks ago. What he did with it, I had no idea. Really? Okay, Richard. Well, then forward me that email that you said that you have, quote, or you no longer want to be the vice president chief steward of 767. Yeah, I want to see it. Because I don't believe you, Richard Wake. I don't. I think you're a liar. You can come on here and talk in front of everybody. All right, enough. So let's go back to Derek and then we'll go to Darren. So go ahead, Derek.
This is so hilarious. You get all these keyboard warriors on here, and they want to be tough guys on the internet, tough women on the internet, and all this stuff. It's hilarious. I'm sorry, I almost forgot my train of thought, but tonight we were talking about a lot of absolute lies, but I noticed something in the chat that I wanted to point out.
Okay.
Yolanda Williams said in the chat earlier about one of the managers down at Local 1000 doesn't want to take grievances to arbitration. That's an absolute fact. Now, I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, Yolanda, but if you want to talk about this sometime, I witnessed it myself. There's some cases that get underrepresented, and I hate to say it that way. You know, it's funny. The same group of people, like these ass clowns that are going online talking all this mumbo jumbo, it's hilarious to me. They want to tell you no war stories because they've never been in a real fight. And they don't want to fight for dignity and respect or money. They just want to bend over and take it. You know, I'm not saying to quit, but these folks got to go. We need
Okay.
to get leadership.
So, hold on 1 second. So Richard Wake said he just sent it to me. So hold on 1 second, Derek and Darren. Hold on 1 second. I want to see if he sent it to me. I don't see it. So he claims he sent it to me because I'm going to read it off. Oh gosh, I don't see it where he sent it to me. Maybe I don't know if he sent it to the right email. Richard.Brown74. Well, he has my email. Everybody has my email. So he claims he sent it to me. I don't have it. So, hold on 1 second here. Yeah, I don't have it. So he claims he sent it. You can always put a copy of it up on Facebook if he wants. But even if he did quit, you were elected. Well, I don't think he ran against nobody. I think he was one of the people who ran unopposed. But then your email address is, well, Richard, you have my email address. This is the kind of games that people play. Okay, Richard Wake. My email address, richard.brown7437 at yahoo.com. Richard Wake has my address. He has my phone number. I have his phone number. These are the games. See, this is the lies that these people tell. And they can't keep their lies straight. All right. So I saw Darren's hand was raised. Where did Darren go to? Okay. So Darren. Okay. Maybe. Okay. Put his hand back down. All right. So even if Richard Wake did quit, why did he quit? This is the quiet quitting. I mean, he says he's no longer. First, he said he didn't want to be the president of DLC 767. He didn't find that prestigious enough, I guess. Now he says he doesn't want to be the vice president, chief steward anymore. But yet he wants. I guarantee you, if they're able to kick me out of this union, he'll be on Facebook bragging about it. So when he says that he doesn't care about Local 1000, he's an absolute liar. These people lie. And this is why I love to get them on video, because I can expose them for who they are. Anyway, let's go back to the quiet quitting. So if you want to help me, you can reach out to me, 408-207-2339. Julie Hartman makes a great point about, quote, doing a class action lawsuit, but you need an attorney. So maybe she knows an attorney. I don't know. I have not been able to find a new attorney. My old attorney let me go because I couldn't afford to keep paying him money. But more is going to come out about my old attorney. See, I want all this to come out. I told you, he had his assistant call me on June 8th, letting me go because I couldn't afford to pay him anymore. So I didn't have him to help me continue my HR1 process. But yet the Bill Hall process, somehow my former attorney sent some stuff in on that when I had no idea that he was still my attorney. They were talking to him when he said he was no longer representing me. That's why he had his assistant call me, not himself. See, these are the games these people are playing. And they think I'm stupid. I'm not stupid. I may not know it all, but I'm not stupid. This truth will come out on these individuals. I'm not the one. All right, so it is now 7:46. Your attorney should be an SEIU attorney. So Wendy Fairbrother, my attorney should be any attorney that I choose to defend myself because I was acting in good faith as the Local 1000 president. And Local 1000 doesn't want to pay for my attorney fees. That's why I lost my attorney. Remember, we raised the money, but Local 1000 should have been paying for it to begin with. And then when they decided to pay for Annika's attorney, who's, helping her do her HR1 against me, Phil Andonian, and then the Local 1000 decided to pay for Bill Hall's attorney, who's suing me and you and Local 1000. So Local 1000 is paying for the attorneys to sue me, to run me out of the union. But yet, when it comes to me getting my attorneys paid by Local 1000, they can't do it. But yet, you want to know why? You want to know why I say this is some racist BS? You want to know why I say that? And do you want to know why I'm calling out these so-called white people here in the state of California? Some of them, not all of them. Some of these so-called white people and Latinos, and some of these funny-acting African Americans. You want to know why I say that? So this is why I always laugh. People think I'm just going at, quote, white people. No, I'm going at everybody. If you're right, you're right. You're wrong, you're wrong. So Richard Reck is back. Let's see. Everyone can beat each other in a wrong number. I could care less. I'm taking care of my own work site. Okay, that's honorable, Richard. I like that. No more or less. Okay, Richard. Sounds good. Sounds good. You know, Richard, would you like to apologize for calling me a coward and a chicken? Because I have the phone text. Would you like to apologize for that right now? Because I've never called you a coward or a chicken. So let's see if he wants to make an apology. Because I'm still waiting for the apology from Teresa Taylor. But I know Teresa doesn't give apologies. I want to know if Teresa Taylor will ever apologize to me publicly for telling me to suck a dick, and her daughter telling me to eat a dick. I want to know if Billy Hall will ever apologize for calling me a nigger. That's what I really want to know. That's the one I really want. That's what I want to know. And I would advise people, don't walk up on me and call me the N-word. Don't call me a nigger to my face right now. You figure I got nothing to live for. Okay. Let's see. Try me. Try me. Maybe you'll get away with it. Maybe you won't. Maybe you have to, call me and make sure you have witnesses when you call me the N-word too. Because when Billy called me that, there were no witnesses. And let's see how this goes down for you. In the meantime, I am not going to quit on you. And I'm going to keep fighting until everyone, Derek, Darren, Dr. Guzman, God, there's so many people. Wendy Fairbrother, Yolanda Williams, E.B. Lynch, everyone, and people who I've forgotten to say, Elizabeth Collins, everyone who's been there, who's been fighting and not giving up. I want to thank you so much because you haven't quite quit on me. That means a lot to me. And when, we would send out those emails, people would send out the emails. That was a big, big help. And finally, let me end with this. When I ask people to do things, sometimes you don't have to really do a lot of thinking. I've done all the thinking for you. I just need you to act. Sometimes we get so caught up in, we have to think about this and make sure it's perfectly planned. Sometimes the best plans are not perfectly planned. Sometimes, not all the time. Crunch time is here. And that's why you don't see, quote, DLC 744 President Billy Hall doing videos anymore. Or William Hall doing videos. He does not want to ask or answer any questions. And he's doing things in secret right now. And Attica is the same way. But everybody knows how duplicitous Attica Laws is. So, when you want to know the truth, you contact me at 408-207-2339. I have not quit on you. I have not quietly gone away. I'm still fighting for you. We get ready to take some major actions, though. And I want to thank Julie Hartman. See, some people, when they come on, they say things to me on Facebook. And sometimes you can't get a person's tone when they're texting you or whatever. My question is, a lot of these people will never take time to call me and have a conversation with me. So when you come on Facebook and start asking questions like this, I don't know if you're trying to, if you're being sincere or you're trying to take my legs from me, Julie Hartman. My number is out there. When I put my post up, I always put my number right there so you have no excuse to not call me. But anytime someone wants to try to call me out on Facebook and think, and I'm not saying this to Julie, but anyone who thinks they can call me out on Facebook or come at me on Facebook or on Zoom, you better bring some friends with you because you ain't got enough. Wait a minute. Julie, I've spoken to you by phone before. I don't remember that, Julie. I really don't. Maybe when I'm done, I can check my phone to see if I have you saved in my phone. Maybe I have. Maybe I've spoken to you once. That's why I can't remember. But the people who have spoken to me repeatedly through text, phone text, Facebook Messenger, or through other ways of communicating, I know who you are. And I have, like I said, I have not lied on anything. It's been a while, but I have. Okay, so maybe you were talking to me when I was campaigning in 2018 or 21. I'm not sure. All right. It's been a pleasure. It's been an interesting night. I didn't know what I was going to really talk about other than quiet quitting. And I want to thank everyone for coming on tonight. I hope that you have a good 3-day weekend. If you know a veteran, salute her or him. And we know the holidays are coming up. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, we know that's going to be here in a couple of weeks. Hopefully you have a great Thanksgiving. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I will respect that too. Some people don't respect it for religious reasons. And to those who are indigenous, I hear you loud and clear. Many of you don't celebrate Thanksgiving for valid reasons. Okay. Oh, hold on. Richard Wake says, congratulations to Gavin Newsom for his landslide win. Let's end on that, because voting was last night, and voting is important to this country. So Richard Wake, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's end on that, Richard Wake. Gavin Newsom has won re-election. That's great for Gavin Newsom. I'm not a hater. I told you man was going to win, and he did win in the landslide. It's almost like, 57-35 or something like that, 57-38. It's almost like a 60-40 split. Here's what I would say. Gavin Newsom, you should have won. You should have won. All the things that you've done to try to win votes, you should have won. The Republican Party didn't put no money into, quote, Brian Dolly's campaign. Republican Party and Donald Trump and all of them, they were all in all these other states. They didn't care about California. They did not give Brian Dolly no support at all. So Gavin Newsom should have won that. He should have won it 80-20, actually. You know, when you have people who are willing to vote for you after you took their money from them, you are a major hustler. You can't take my money and pimp me out and think that I'm going to vote for you. Okay? Now, I'm going to take it that Richard Wake, you voted for Gavin Newsom, a man that took 2 days of pay for a whole fiscal year and was going to take 2 more days the next fiscal year until that recall happened. But that's how you feel, Richard Wake. We're going to respect the fact that you're happy that Gavin Newsom won. Voting matters. Listen to this, Richard Wake. I'm glad that you put that at the end. Voting matters in this country. And the only way that Gavin Newsom will come out of office before his term ends if they recall him. That's the way it should be for Local 1000. I shouldn't be, quote, subject to losing my position unless I'm being recalled. All this other BS, and the board is against me, a majority of the board is against me, is BS. It's political. And they've taken it out of the hands of the voters, and they've put it in a small group of people who have an axe to grind, who are protecting the status quo, the things that has always been the way they were. They're trying to take away your vote. Gavin Newsom doesn't have to worry about that, Richard Wake. He's a white man. I get it. And you're a white man, and you understand exactly what I'm saying, Richard Wake. So yeah, congratulations to Gavin Newsom. It's funny, you always want to talk about my past, what's true and what's not true. But yet, Gavin Newsom slept with his campaign manager's wife back in his past. No worries. Who cares about integrity? Gavin Newsom said, don't go out without being masked up. Put your mask on. But yet, he was at the French Laundry living his best life with his lobbyists in November of 21, or was it 20? I think it was 2020. Richard Wake. Richard Wake says, well, how do you know I voted for Newsom? Just saying. Now, you know what's funny about this? Richard Wake actually has a great point on this one. He has a great point about, give respect to Gavin Newsom for winning. Okay. But he says, how do you know I voted for Newsom? This is how I know you voted for Newsom, Richard Wake. Because years ago, the voters were tricked. You have to do only the top 2 coming out of the primary to go into the general for governor. And I know you didn't vote for Brian Dowdy because you're anti-Republican. We can just go to your Facebook page. We know how you feel about the Republicans. So I know you voted for Newsom, Richard Wake. But here's the killing part about this. Richard Wake, if you were transparent, you can show us your voting record. But you're not transparent because you're a liar. Because if you were transparent and you wanted to lead by example, you would be glad to show us your voting record. He says, maybe I did a write-in. No, listen to what I just said, Richard Wick. Listen to the words coming out of my mouth. Back in 2010, they did the top 2. They did a vote, and the voters said only the top 2 coming out of the primary can make it to the general. So you can't do a write-in, Richard Wake. You cannot write in on the position of governor. You only have 2 people to choose from, Richard Wake. How are you helping people on your work site? You don't even know this, Richard Wake. I thought you were a politician. I thought you were running for the mayor of Sacramento, Richard Wake. So you can't write it in. It's either the Democrat or the Republican or whoever the top 2 were coming out of the primary, Richard Wake. So Sheila Skiffman said, what are you angry about now? I'm not angry. I'm talking to Richard Wake, Sheila Skiffman. I can't raise my voice and articulate my voice without being angry? Or is that the racism inside you, Sheila Skiffman? Because I don't want to sit here and say, well, no, Richard, you know, this and this and this. If I want to see someone be calm, cool, and collective, then go to your job and talk to your boss. Because your boss, when they get ready to put the screws to you, they talk real quiet and real soft. And they bring the other bosses in there, and then they put the screws to you, Sheila Skiffman. See, this is what I'm telling you. People walk into me. And I was real calm tonight. I was real easy going, okay, you know, I'm talking about quiet quitting, don't quit. And then people start opening their mouths up. And then when I start going back at them, because they're walking into this, they keep coming back for more. If you want to watch a video where someone's always professional and calm, cool, and collective, and you're asleep by the 3rd or 4th word, then watch their videos. Don't come to my videos. So Sheila Skiffman said, you aren't saying my name correctly. Well, then come on video, ask to come on, and then you say your name for us. Or come on my Zoom call and say your name, Sheila Skiffman, if I'm not saying your name right. See, they just want to keep talking. Raise voices in anger. I'm not angry. I'm not angry at all. But that's the racism inside you, Sheila Skiffman, because when a person talks with this type of emotion, you think they're angry. But black people, we do things differently than people outside our community. So we may talk in a higher pitch, but we're not angry. But you wouldn't understand that because the racism that you've been, quote, brainwashed to believe in, either from your family or from society. I don't know, Sheila Skiffman. When you hear a black man talk and they raise their voice, that does not mean they're angry. I'm going to give you an inside tip, Sheila Skiffman. Everyone is racist, right? I didn't say everyone was racist. I talked about you putting a racist stereotype on me when I raise my voice as a black man, Sheila Skiffman. So don't try to put words into my mouth, Sheila Skiffman. In fact, who raised you, Sheila Skiffman? I got an idea, though. I got a good idea. I got a good idea. So when I talk and I raise my voice, that doesn't mean I'm angry. And that's what black men have gone through in this country. And that's why I say when God allowed me to win this election, it wasn't just about me winning an election. It was about my ability to articulate and not act the way, quote, society wants you to act like as a black man in this country. And people don't like that. Get over yourself. Sheila Skiffman, I didn't ask you to come on my video tonight. You came on your own accord. If you didn't like how I raised my voice, then why are you still here watching then? Why don't you go on to somebody else's video and watch them and praise them? You know, get educated from them, Sheila Skiffman. But you want to come on here and say, you know, why am I angry? I'm not angry at all. You're the one that has the problem. And I just exposed you and Richard Wake. We know he voted for Gavin Newsom. So Richard Wake, you know what? We're gonna have some fun. Let's have some fun. Richard Wake wants to get some attention. Oh wait. So Sheila Skiffin, dude, water black, raising your voice in first anger. No, it doesn't, Sheila Skiffin. That's the racism inside of you. That's the way you've been taught. Because when they say when a person raises their voice, they're talking about black men because we talk differently. Black women also raise their voice, Sheila Skiffman. Maybe some of these sisters on here are African Americans, women, they can tell you the same thing. Just because we raise our voice doesn't mean that we're angry. Black people, we talk differently. We make love differently. We play sports differently. We dance differently. We show more emotion in how we do things, Sheila Skiffman. And why is that? I'm going to stop there. Let me stop there. Because they say in science that the black gene is the dominant gene. Let me stop. You're making my day, Sheila Skiffman. Because you ain't got enough for me. Now, I want to go back to Richard Wick because I want to have some fun. I'm no stranger to black folks, Sheila Skiffman. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Sheila. But I'm going to go back to what Richard Wick said. Richard Wick said, Dark the prophecy. How's life at the DMV, bruh? You know, when people make comments about your work, what are they really saying? Oh, let me go to Yolanda Williams. I'm sorry, Yolanda. I missed your hand being raised. I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Yolanda.
Yes, black people, we do a lot of things different. Let me stop. But anyway.
No, keep going. No, we're going to have some fun now. No, look, Veterans Day is on Friday. I'm going to start celebrating early. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. But anyways, we all are different. That's what makes the world go around, folks. Am I right or am I wrong? Okay?
Right.
Anyways, I just wanted to say, because I thought we was ending, Mr. Brown, but I wanted to say to all the veterans, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate your service and enjoy the day off. That's what I want to say.
You know, Yolanda, thank you. And I want to echo what Yolanda said to all the veterans. You know, when you give your life, that says something. And to all the veterans who was willing to die for this country, for the right reasons, and maybe for the wrong ones at times, we can't thank you enough. Some people say thank you to the veterans, and they're not sincere. Anybody that goes into the military now, you could lose your life. There's no free rides. Sometimes you go in the military, there's not a lot of danger. It's in peace times. You may enter danger at some point during your military career. But now when you go in the military, there's no guarantee that you're going to come out alive. And so when we say, we salute the veterans, we really mean that, because you are putting your life on the line, whether it's across the ocean or it may even come down to being domestically. And so what Yolanda said, I strongly agree with. To the veterans, have a great 3-day weekend. And to state employees, because we get Veterans Day off. Hopefully the state employees will have a great 3-day weekend. And who knows? I don't think I'll do a video that day, but I might. Because, some people say, Richard, do you ever take off from this? No. I try. They say, why do you work so hard for this union when this union is trying to run you out? My initial reaction, my initial response to that is I'm stupid. I'm stupid. Why you work so hard for some people who don't even care about you? We all have our passions. And so to me, this is a true passion that I have. Trying to help people get money. I'll try. But, Yolanda, and to everyone on Zoom and on Facebook, there's a reason why I'm able to do these videos with nobody around me. And when people try to come at me and try to take my head off, I always got a response back for them. and it's always kind of strong and resilient and fiery because I'm always reading, and when I don't read enough, there's always Darren to send me a link. There's always Darren Stahl that's going to send me a link and say, hey, Rich, did you read this? And not just him, other people as well will send me links to read. So I'm always kind of up on things. But you know, there's times when I like to have fun on video. And so I was supposed to end, but now I want to have fun. I see Richard Wake still seeking attention. And I believe sometimes you give a fool the attention that he or she seeks. So Richard Wake is asking to dark the prophecy about his work site. Anytime a person threatens you regarding your job and they call themselves a union steward, management will try to threaten you with your job. Management does that. So when I see Richard Wake talking about dark the prophecy in his work site and about his OPF official personnel file, what does that tell you about Richard Wake? That tells you that man is so evil and deceptive. He wants to threaten you on your job. And he's not even management. He wants to call himself as a union job steward. As job stewards, we will always want to protect another person's job. That's what a job steward does. We want to protect our people's jobs and our union at all costs. But Richard Wake is too, I don't want to say he's too stupid to understand that. I won't say that. But for him to threaten someone on their job, when we know we have bad managers who would love to fire half of us for no reason at all, and for Richard Wake to be a job steward, I'm going to be honest with you. This dark the prophecy, whoever's watching this on Facebook and who's watching this and hear me say this on Zoom, they should file HR 1 on Richard Wake for saying that. We don't ever want to threaten somebody's job because that's their career with the state of California. This is not a job. This is a career. And for Richard Wake to do that, that is pure evilness. I mean, I will be quite honest with you. For him to do that, should he really be a job steward Local 1000? I want everybody to hear this. If someone wants to show me action, then the action they should take against Richard Wake, DOC 767 Vice President Chief Steward Richard Wake, for threatening another member's career in the state of California. And this is on Facebook right now, on my Facebook page. You should go to my Facebook page, R.L. Brown, and start taking pictures of his comments right now. I can't do it because I'm talking to y'all. But y'all should take pictures and file an HR 1 on him. Because that is wrong. You may hate me and hate everything I stand for and be in my union, but to make a threat against my job, my career, on how I feed my family, that is just disgusting. And that tells you the condition of some of our job stewards in this union. They'll threaten other job stewards with their job. Well, then you don't even need a bad manager. You just need Local 1000 running out your job. Which, in Yolanda Williams and other people's cases, when they don't grieve your case and go to arbitration, that's what they're really doing. They're running you out of the state of California, in a sense. I've never said that before. That's why I tell people, watch my videos at the beginning, in the middle, and at the very end. Because I always give out really good stuff in all three parts of my videos. But that's what Local 1000 is doing. People like Richard Wake who are acting like job stewards, threatening another person with their job. That's crazy. That tells management we can go inside that union and grab any job steward and turn that person against anybody that we want to turn. We can use that job steward to get rid of somebody. In the union, when that person files that grievance, it won't go anywhere. So Richard Wake, you did the same to me, or when you called my work site when I asked my members to email you. when I never called you a work site. What are you talking about, Richard Wake? See, he's lying so much he can't get his lies straight. When did I call, what work site do you work at, Richard Wake? I think you work at Teachers Credentials. I never called you a work site. I never spoke to your boss. I never talked to him about your OPF. Richard, shut your mouth. Richard Wake, the more you keep talking, the more you embarrass yourself. And that's why sometimes I say things on these videos because people come back later and they watch my videos. So my deputy director is lying? Yeah, he's lying. I never called your deputy director about you, Richard Wake. I don't know who your deputy director is. Yeah, put that in the email. Send an email to your deputy director saying that I called him talking to you. I want to know who your deputy director is. And then CC me. CC the entire local one. I don't know who you want to CC. CC your DLC president? Yeah, put it on an email. See, this is how you know people are so full of it. And that's why I always said, yes, you did. You have no proof of nothing, Richard Wake. These people are just liars. And you say, well, Richard, why do you take time to talk to another person who's a liar? Because you have to expose these people for who they are. Richard Wake is lying through his teeth. Say whatever you want. He won't come on video. He just wants to keep going. He wants attention. So people say, Richard, don't give him any attention. Don't give him any energy. I have to treat every person for the disease that they have. Because if you don't treat that one person with the disease, that person goes into the room and they put the disease into the whole room. That's why I do that. Now, you can call on Annika's call or DLC 744 President Billy Hall's call, and they'll never take time to talk to you because they don't care about you. They never give you any attention unless they can use you. I don't use anybody. That's why you love me so much, and that's why these people come on my videos and they try to get me, say, well, let's say this to him and see if we can get him angry. You can't get me angry. Just because I talk loud and sometimes I get excited, I'm black. That's part of my culture. Maybe you should take a African American history class or something. I don't know. You can have black friends. You can have black friends, but they don't educate you about African Americans, and not just one type of African American, but all the different types that reside within the black community. It's like me talking to one Mexican person and think, okay, I know all the Latinos. Oh, no, I don't. I'm going to go inside the Latino community and see Latinos, Mexican Americans, Chicanos. I thought I missed that. I didn't miss it. Others within the Latino community, because you have different factions within the Latino community. Now, when I get all those different factions and I get their opinions, now I can say a little something. But those are a lot of opinions that I got to record. So, Richard Wake, I have all the texts where you call me chicken and coward. You put up on Facebook. Everybody has this about you. Then you quit your DLC presidency because you didn't care enough. Now you're saying you quit your vice president, Chief Stewart, because you don't care enough. But yet you want to come on to the person who was duly elected and talk stuff and hope that they can, quote, kick him out so you can come back on my Facebook page because my Facebook page is not locked. Come back on there a few weeks later and say, yeah, we kicked you out. You ain't about nothing. But you just claim tonight you don't care about nothing. You could care less about Local 1000. Well, if you could care less about Local 1000, then why are you on my video for? This is the psychology, pathological pathology of Richard Wake. I don't know much about that Sheila Skiffman, but she better go get some friends when she come talk to me. Julie Hartman, yeah, give me a call. If you're still on, give me a call. All right, it is 8:16 tonight. November 9th, 2022. Tonight's been a little bit different kind of call. We talking about quiet quitting. We're going to shut it down. But stay tuned. Stay tuned. Ah! When you see me smile like that, does that mean I'm angry? All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night, President Brown. Thank you for your
Ah,